Minister, you'll be very aware of the main challenges faced by the arts, culture and live entertainment industry across the pandemic. While the live performance sector obviously welcomed your support, a major issue has been the rate at which the funds are being distributed to the venues. Could you outline your actions to ensure the timely distribution of the supports as quickly as possible to prevent the permanent closure of some venues?
Thank you. And I note also your question refers to the steps I am taking to support the live performance sector. Just to say, in 2021, my department paid out grants of almost 54 million to support the live entertainment sector and drive employment opportunities for artists and crews through the following schemes: 25 million for the live performance support scheme, 13.7 million for the events sector COVID support scheme, 8.8 million for the local live performance support scheme, 3.1 million for music and entertainment support scheme, 1.7 million for commercial entertainment capital grant scheme, and 880,000 for St Patrick's Festival. And following budget 2022, I announced details of another 50 million suite of measures to support the live performance sector in 2022, and that is provided for the LPSS2, which supported pantomimes and seasonal musical theatre impacted by the COVID restrictions in December and January. 2.9 million has been offered on the LPSS2. The live performance support scheme 3 to support events due to be staged in December and January which were curtailed, cancelled or rescheduled due to the COVID restrictions, and grants of 9.5 million have been offered under the LPSS3. The Live Performance Restart Grant Scheme is supporting the live entertainment sector by providing business restart grants to de-risk the planning of events across spring and summer of 2022 and to assist with the costs of reopening, and grants of 14.7 million have been offered under the LPRGS. 1 million was there for the St Patrick's Festival. The Music and Entertainment Business Assistance Scheme provided grants as a targeted support for self-employed performers and sole traders operating solely in the live entertainment sector, and €2.8 million has been allocated under the MEBIS 2022. The Local Live Public Performance Scheme Phase 3 has provided €5 million for local authorities to stage live events until the end of June, and I've recently allocated a further €5 million to the local authorities to provide for live events until Halloween. Grants of €1.7 million have been provided under the 2022 for the Commercial Entertainment Capital Grant Scheme, and grants assist with the capital costs associated with reopening after closure of the pandemic. So to date, grants of almost €42.6 million have been allocated. None of the live performance schemes have been oversubscribed, and there has been sufficient funding available to provide grants to all eligible applicants.
Thanks for your response, Minister. What I'm hearing, I suppose, from venues in West Cork is that there's kind of an interconnected importance of the amounts being received and the timing. So crucially, that there's a misalignment between the demands of the sector and the manner in which the department operates. So when I raised this issue last May, there was also a case of venues not receiving funding that they were promised for pantomimes in December. So venues obviously have to plan months in advance. Any schemes designed to buffer against uncertainty and additional cost need to reflect that reality. This not only affects the venues, but also performers, crews, equipment providers. The knock-on effects affect so many people. The delays in the allocation of promised funding is itself an additional source of stress and frustration. Minister, the sector needs to have this funding in their bank accounts as soon as possible. So also, could you clarify if there's a date by which the live performance restart grant schemes have to be spent? I think originally this was cited as June, which is obviously unfeasible at this stage. Thank you.
And indeed, venues are a critical part of the landscape for musicians and bands, and music venues in West Cork are actually among the most high profile in the country. And I'm very pleased a number of venues in that part of Cork were among the grantees under the live entertainment schemes operated by my department, including the iconic De Barras, Shanley's Bar, Levis's in Ballydehob and Conley's of Lep. In relation to any delay, all requests for payment are currently being processed, and the department is supporting grantees who have outstanding information to submit. Payment continues to issue on a rolling basis as grantees submit their documentation and payment requests, and all payment requests and information requests are being dealt with without delay. Once an application has been deemed eligible and a grant offer is made, a service level agreement issues to the grantee, along with further information in relation to the drawdown procedures and notice of the feedback required on conclusion of the activity the grant supports. Once the signed SLA and payment request has been returned along with other necessary support and documentation, the payment request is examined, and if all is in order, payment is made. From time to time, further information may be required or vital documents may not have been included with the payment request, and in that instance the Department will contact the grantee and provide assistance in relation to what is needed. That can cause a delay in payment, and as soon as all the necessary documents are there, then it will be processed.
Thanks, Minister. And just in the reply, if you could clarify, is there a new date for when it has to be spent? That would be great. And yeah, thanks for your reply. You'll be aware that the sector, as well as other arts and venues and the hospitality sector, are experiencing rising costs. In particular, local employers in these sectors are highlighting rising energy and insurance expenses to me, and I'm sure you're hearing the same from hopefully all of the venues that you cited there. You're well aware of the West Cork ones. Just these businesses are beginning to kind of recover from the pandemic. Now they're facing those rising costs as well. And while these issues are not directly under your portfolio, they're a major concern for all in the arts and in the hospitality sector. Could you outline your engagement, if there's any so far, with ministers on rising costs for these sectors? And are you considering any schemes to assist small and medium businesses in the arts and tourism? Thank you.
Just in that, like I referred to, the Live Performance Restart Grant Scheme is supporting the live entertainment sector by providing those business restart grants to de-risk the plan of events around the spring and summer, and I hope that will assist with the COSA of reopening. As I said, 14.7 million has been offered under the LPRGS. I can get back to you with the information on the date. That's absolutely no problem. And in relation to, a lot of these this funding was COVID supports. We will keep everything under review. As we go into the budgetary process, as we can see, COVID numbers are rising, and indeed, there may be some funding that could be allocated, but that will all depend on where we are with COVID. But we do keep in close contact with the sector at all times, and that's why we were able to design the schemes that worked for them, and that will continue. And as I said, we'll monitor the situation, Deputy.